Hey y'all, welcome back to the party. It is me, your girl, BrittReacts, and today, interestingly enough, we are reacting to Mr. Maher rhymes with jar going to Washington. This is Real Time with Bill Maher rhymes with jar. Now I'm sniggling a little bit. I'm sniggle, because in my last reaction to this show with Mr. Bill here, he was kind of going off on Trump supporters that are like super fans. And so many of you were like, that's funny because he was just at the White House. And I was like, nope, there's no way. The way this man was just talking about, there's no way. And then this popped up on my feed.
And now for what I know you've all been waiting for, I'd like to give you my book report on my visit to the White House.
Can't wait. We need answers, Bill.
As you know, 12 days ago, I had dinner with President Trump, a dinner that was set up by my friend Kid Rock, because we share a belief that there's got to be something better than hurling insults from 3,000 miles away. And let me first say that to all the people who treated this like it was some kind of summit meeting, you're ridiculous. Like I was going to sign a treaty or something. I have no power. I'm a fucking comedian, and he's the most powerful leader in the world. I'm not the leader of anything, except maybe a contingent of centrist-minded people who think there's got to be a better way of running this country than hating each other every minute. So, thank you.
I'm team solutions. Y'all know what I said. Like, first of all, y'all have to allow people to evolve, change their minds, or at least want to find a way to have some resolve. Like, you have to stop putting people in boxes. People say things all the time, and then they learn, they grow, they change. Number one. Number two, at least he's doing something about it. If he's saying he doesn't like something, at least he's willing to and doing something about it. What are you doing? Clickety clacking on your keyboard, being just trolling. It's like, I don't know. That's just me though, maybe.
Each other every minute. So, thank you. Okay, so meet up in person. Maybe it'll be different. Spoiler alert, it was. First good sign, before I left for the Capitol, I had my staff collect and print out this list of almost 60 different insulting epithets that the president has said about me. Oh. Things like stupid, dummy, lowlife dummy, sleazebag, sick, sad, stone cold crazy. Really a dumb guy, fired like a dog, his show is dead. There's 60. I brought this to the White House because I wanted him to sign it.
Oh, I love.
Which he did.
I love.
Which he did.
That does not look like it could even remotely say Donald Trump. That's crazy. I love stuff like this. It's like, let's just own up to it. Me personally, I don't want anyone in a leadership position that talks this way. Like, I just don't. That's like my own, like, I don't want my pastor to talk this way. I don't want the manager of the bank I bank at to talk this way. Like, I don't care who it is. Anyone that's like has some sense of leadership, I don't prefer they speak this way. I just don't. I think like, it's like, you have so much power. You could be doing so much better and still getting your point across. You could, I'm not saying he's wrong. Maybe he's right about every single one of these things, but like, I don't know. That's just my take. But for him to take it and for Trump to sign it, it just feels like such a mutual like understanding to me. It's like, I love stuff like that. I like live and breathe for. It's like, well, I said it. I'm owning up to it. And also it's like, well, you think this about me. I think this about you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just like, I love a healthy confrontation. I love a healthy, let's talk face to face about it. I live and breathe for it. Live and breathe.
Which he did with good humor. And I know as I say that, millions of liberal sphincters just tightened. Oh my God, Bill, are you going to say something nice about him? What I'm going to do is report exactly what happened. You decide what you think about it. And if that's not enough pure Trump hate for you, I don't give a fuck. So...
Straight like that.
So, no, I didn't go MAGA. And to the president's credit, there was no pressure to. After we left the Oval Office, he showed me the little room off the office, you know, the one where Clinton used to...
Read his Bible.
The blowjob room, okay? Well, not anymore. That's where they keep the merch now.
Really? Is he serious?
It is. And he gave me a bunch of hats, but he didn't ask me to take a picture in one, which I appreciated. The guy I met is not the person who the night before the dinner shit-tweeted a bunch of nasty crap about how he thought this dinner was a bad idea and what a deranged asshole I was. I read it and thought, oh, what a lovely way to welcome someone to your house. But when I got there, that guy wasn't living there. Now, does Trump want respect? Of course, who doesn't? My friend said to me, what are you going to wear to the White House? I said, I don't know, but I'm not going to dress like Zelensky, I'll tell you that.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay. Just for starters, he laughs. I'd never seen him laugh in public. But he does,
Yeah, I don't know.
including it himself. And it's not fake. Believe me, as a comedian of 40 years, I know a fake laugh when I hear it. And I thank you for them. No. But, okay, example. In the Oval Office, he was showing me the portraits of presidents, and he pointed to Reagan and said, in all seriousness, you know the best thing about him? His hair. I said, well, there was also that whole bringing down communism thing, waiting for the button next to the Diet Coke button to get pushed and I go through the trap door.
The Diet Coke button. I cannot. I mean, I think we all have witnessed, right? Like, Donald Trump is very much like, if you like me, I like you. If you don't like me, I don't like you. If you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. Like, the minute you say something, like, so I'm not surprised that, like, the night before he tweeted all this stuff and then he actually met Bill to his face and he was decent to him. Like, none of that is surprising to me. It does come off as bullying a little bit. But then you, like, I think tons of people have, like, gone to meet him and they're like, oh, he's like exactly the opposite of who he is on TV. So, I mean, I guess. I'm sorry, the merch and the Diet Coke button almost sent me melting out of this.
Diet Coke button to get pushed and I go through the trap door. But no, he laughed, he got it. I said to him at one point, Mr. President, you know the dog, that's unusual in the White House. He said, well, a lot of the presidents, they had a dog for political reasons. I said, no, people love dogs, that's what that is. Oh yeah. Okay, that's true.
I can't tell if he's joking or not, guys.
I'm telling you what happened. At one point, we were walking through his amazing tour of the whole house. And I don't remember exactly what we were talking about, but it must have been something with the 2020 election, because I know he used the word lost. And I distinctly remember saying, wow, I never thought I'd hear you say that. He didn't get mad. He's much more self-aware than he lets on in public. Look, I get it. It doesn't matter who he is at a private dinner with a comedian. It matters who he is on the world stage. I'm just taking as a positive that this person exists because
Okay, I recognize Kid Rock. I think, is that Dana? The guy that's over, like, is it UFC or fighting or something? I don't know who the guy across from the white beard guy. This is interesting to me. I think this is something that is, I mean, I could say to be studied, but it's not. I think it's a super simple concept, right? Like, sometimes, whether you're the good guy or the villain, you have to, like, stand 10 toes down. And I say this all the time about Donald Trump. I think, like, he just stands 10 toes down. Even if he is the light shines and he's wrong as all get out. He's going to stand in it because that's like who he has, like that, who he has presented as is who everyone that supports him and loves him has fallen in love with. So if he comes down to earth a little bit and he's a little less combative or a little less I don't know, chippy and petty with his tweets, people might be like, whoa, 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 what's going on? Like, there are a lot of people that love that about him. But then, no one can be that way 24/7. Like, there's no way anyone can sustain that way 24/7. So Bill is like, yeah, I mean, he gets on TV and he is this guy, but in these close quarters, he's a very, like, sensible, decent human, is what Bill is seeming to report to me. I think that to me is more of Donald Trump's celebrity than it is the politician. I think that is such a celebrity coded thing. There's such a level of performance in being a celebrity. And before Donald Trump was president, in case anyone didn't know, he was a celebrity. He's literally a celebrity. And so, I think, again, we see it all the time on like reality TV. Someone becomes the villain and then they lean into it. Or someone becomes the good guy and they lean into it. And that's who they're known to be. And that's what America falls in love with. And so you got to stick to it or lose the bag, No.
I'm just taking as a positive that this person exists because everything I've ever not liked about him was, I swear to God, absent, at least on this night with this guy.
That's interesting.
Bob, Kid Rock, told me the night before, he said, if you want to get a word in edgewise, you're going to have to cut him off. He'll just go on. Not at all. I've had so many conversations with prominent people who are much less connected, people who don't look you in the eye, people who don't really listen because they just want to get to their next thing. People whose response to things you say just doesn't track, like, what?
Were you listening to me?
And he mostly steered the conversation to, what do you think about this? I know, your mind is blown. So's mine. There were so many moments when I hit him with a joke or contradicted something, and no problem. At dinner, he was asking me about the nuclear situation in Iran in a very genuine, hey, I think you're a smart guy, I want your opinion sort of way. And I said, well, obviously you're privy to things about it I'm not, but for what it's worth, I thought the Obama deal was worth letting play out because we made Iran destroy 98% of the uranium, and they were 15 years away from a bomb. And then I said to him, but we got rid of that. You got rid of that. He didn't get mad or call me a left-wing lunatic. He took it in. I told him I thought parts of his plan for Gaza were wacky, but that I had supported him in the idea that Gaza could be Dubai instead of hell. I told him he was wrong when he tweeted the night before that I was critical of all things Trump. Not true. Check the tapes. Moving Israel's embassy to Jerusalem, loved it. The border did need to be controlled. I'm glad the cops are getting their morale back. DEI had gone too far. Biological men shouldn't be playing women's sports. Europe should pay for their defense. And of course, it makes sense that Arab countries should take in Arab refugees, like the million Syrians who wound up in Germany when Saudi Arabia took none. He said to me, you're right, they took none.
It was so like good and deep and like, oh, he's pulling the receipts on the things that he has actually agreed with. I think this is what makes Bill a centrist, is that he can identify rights and wrongs across the board. And in that way, I don't like to be labeled, but I do feel I identify most with that titling as well, because I too can look at things and say, oh yeah, that's great. And then turn around and be like, what the hell are y'all talking about on this side, and do the same thing on that side. So, yeah, this is great. This is interesting.
I said, well, you should remind your boyfriend in Saudi Arabia that the next time you see him.
No, you did not say that. You did not say that.
He laughed. I never felt I had to walk on eggshells around him. And honestly, I voted for Clinton and Obama but I would never feel comfortable talking to them the way I was able to talk with Donald Trump. That's just how it went down. Make of it what you will. Me, I feel it's emblematic of why the Democrats are so unpopular these days. He was even okay when I checked him on the orangutan lawsuit. He was. I know. He said to Dana White, you know, Bill said my father was an orangutan, and I really love my father. And I said, well, Mr. President, I did that because I didn't like what you were doing regarding Obama's birth origins. I thought that was low. Again, no anger, just a little smile, as if to say, yeah, I get it. The most surreal part of the whole night was when I got home. I flew back right after the dinner, and I'm in...
Let me present this question to you. Do we think Donald Trump has these type of people around him, or do we think that he has just strictly yes men around him, people who are afraid to be that type of honest with him? And maybe he enjoyed having someone like Bill around him, which is why Bill is reporting that he didn't see the Donald Trump he thought he would see. Maybe, do you guys think that? Like, maybe he just needs more Bill Jars, rhymes with Mar, you know, around him. Someone that can speak their truth, a little bit of humor. Because I do think, I mean, if you read Donald Trump's Twitter, there's a whole lot of humor there. I think sometimes he's just in bed like, let me start something. Let me troll the internet real quick. But in all seriousness, I think a lot of times people don't hear anything but yes. And maybe deep down inside, they desire some no's. I wonder, what do y'all think? Like, no, seriously, I wonder, like, maybe that's what it is. Maybe he just needs to like hire Bill and some more Bill like-minded people around him to get some balance. So it's not just yes. Maybe every president, everybody should have people around them that are willing to say like, no, I didn't agree with that. Absolutely not. And also humble them with a funny joke.
The most surreal part of the whole night was when I got home. I flew back right after the dinner, and I'm in bed watching 60 Minutes from the night before. And there's Trump in one of their stories, standing at a podium in a room that looked to me like one of the rooms and places we'd just been in. And he's ranting, disgusting, you're a terrible person. And I'm like, who's that guy? What happened to Glinda the Good Witch?
Good Linda.
And why can't we get the guy I met to be the public guy? And I'm not saying it's our responsibility to do that. It's not. I'm just reporting exactly what I saw over 2.5 hours. I went into the mine, and that's what's down there. A crazy person doesn't live in the White House. A person who plays a crazy person on TV a lot lives there, which I know is fucked up. It's just not as fucked up as I thought it was. And I have no illusions now that I'm back to work at my job that he might start a new list. Because I don't have a good feeling and will be critical about a lot of what he's doing. The trade war and disappearing people, ruling by decree, threatening judges, gutting the government with glee. But I also think he now understands I have a job to do, or at least he did on this night, because he said to me early on that he'd seen our last episode, which was the Friday before this dinner. And he said, I thought maybe you'd be nice, but you hit me really hard. I did, because I'm not going to pull my punches that presidents get to propose a third term for themselves. He understood that, and without animus. That doesn't mean he's not going to try to do it. At one point, I said to him, you're scaring people. Mm-hmm. Do you really want to be scaring your own citizens so much? And I know now you're all saying, and what did he say to that? Honestly, I don't remember. But it wasn't, okay, I'll stop. So MAGA fans, don't worry. Your boy gave me nothing. Just hats. hats and a very generous amount of time, and a willingness to listen and accept me as a possible friend, even though I'm not MAGA, which was the point of the dinner. My favorite part of the whole night was we were standing in the blowjob room. We were. And he said, you know, I've heard from a lot of people who really like that we're having this dinner. Not all, but a lot. And I said, same. A lot of people told me they loved it, but not all. And we agreed. The people who don't even want us to talk, we don't like you. Don't talk, as opposed to what? Writing the same editorial for the millionth time and making 25-hour speeches into the wind? Really, that's what liberals have? He takes the piss out of everybody else and we can hold ours? Okay, that's my report. You can hate me for it, but I'm not a liar. Trump was gracious and measured, and why he isn't that in other settings, I don't know, and I can't answer, and it's not my place to answer. I'm just telling you what I saw, and I wasn't high. Damn, missed opportunity.
That was a great book report. I think there are several life lessons to be learned in that book report. All right, talk to me down below. Keep it cute, put it on mute. If you can't be kind, leave. Just leave it at that, all right? I'm excited to hear from you all. Let's talk about it. Like this video. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel for more, and go and have the day you deserve. Bye.